Hello gremlins, this is a new vlog and oh my gosh, my brain is melting. We're under a heat advisory and my office is not a cool location in our house, so I'm hot, but I wanted to actually start the vlog, so I was like, whatever, they'll have to put up with the fan, they'll have to put up with me looking like a hot sweaty mess because I'm too hot to put on makeup, to have my hair down, to wear anything nice. I am just like in this tank top and slowly melting. The heat advisory is supposed to break Tuesday night, so my office will be less bad. And we've gone over this. Hi, my name is Catherine. I live in upstate New York. And in upstate New York, no one has like AC really. You have to put in like a unit in a room. And so we have one in our downstairs for our living room, and we have one in our bedroom. And technically, I have one for my office. The problem is that the weather has been very temperamental the last few summers, and so if I put an AC unit in my window, if it rains at all, even like a trickle of rain, the entire unit starts to leak water into my office, and I have so much electric stuff, like electronic stuff in here, that can't happen. Like, it could damage so many things, so I can't put it in the window because I never know when it's gonna rain anymore, because like we've had thunderstorms roll in because of the heat. We've had thunderstorms roll in that weren't tracked for us. So I can't put it in. It's not safe. So we're just in my hot office right now. I have a huge tower fan, and I periodically like leave the room to cool down. I just went downstairs to check on the dogs. So I am slightly cooler than I was, and I'm drinking a lot of fluids and just trying to survive the next 2 days. Thankfully, it is not for as long as it was supposed to be. It was gonna go through Wednesday, but they did change it. And yesterday, Krista and I, because it was a Sunday, just like hung out in air-conditioned rooms with like our unit, the AC units on. So yes, we are here. It is Pride. It is hot. I am wearing, the benefit is I get to wear this fun David tank top, but I could wear this anytime I want. It does say that I like the wine, not the label. You can kind of see that. But yes, so we're still in Pride. And for those of you who may not have watched previous vlogs, I went to my library and picked up a ton of books. Some were requests. I've gotten through most of the requests at this point, and the rest are just books that I snagged at the library. We are reading my requested book first, and I'll get into that in a sec. Also, if you notice me favoring this hand, again, if you haven't watched previous videos, this is gonna be super quick. I was in a snowblower accident. I lost the tips of 2 of my fingers. Well, partially the tips of 2 of my fingers. They have healed. I just like don't have a fingernail in one of them, and it's like a constructed half a tip, and then the other one was like sewn back together to give me sort of a tip, and it has a tiny nail. But the problem is I experience swelling in my hands naturally when I'm overheated, and I was informed it would be even worse for a very long time for those 2 fingers, so they are very sore today. So if you notice me like touching my hand or holding my hand or like bending my hand and like hiding it at any point in this video, it's because it hurts and I'm just trying to like stretch it or get it to move, just to get it to cool down. If it hurts too much, I'm gonna ice them just because the swelling it is uncomfortable. So we'll see. But if you notice me like holding it funny, or I may keep it up a lot to reduce swelling, so you may just see it awkwardly hanging out, not gesticulating, just like up in the air like I'm asking a question, so just because of the heat. That should stop occurring once this heat wave breaks, hopefully, but then we're getting into regular summer, so you know, who knows. But I should get into the books. So in this vlog I'll be reading kind of all over the place. I don't have like a theme, it's just books for Pride that I picked out. So the first book is Model Home by Rivers Solomon, and this came up, so online I did double check this, and this may be incorrect, I may find out while I'm reading this. One thing I found said there was trans representation, another noted it's a gender queer person that is the representation in this book. So I did choose it based on that idea because I hadn't gotten a lot of books unintentionally that had trans characters or non-binary characters or gender fluid characters while I was grabbing books, because admittedly a lot of these books in my library I just grabbed. They were on the Pride section, like little display, which was very cute. I showed it in another video. Sorry, I'm just like referring back, but by the time this goes up, the Pride display may be like put away. because it'll be too close to June or July at that point. I'm not sure. Like, I don't know how long it's gonna take me to get this video up. So I just don't know. And I'm not gonna go back and film it because you won't see those books in it anyway. So I grabbed a ton of books. This one I did request. Also someone was talking about it and I was just like, oh, that sounds interesting, and it just worked out when I was doing some research for this month. So this one was like kind of researched to pick out. The others are just grabs. Like I saw them, I thought they sounded interesting or looked interesting, or I'd vaguely heard of them, and I just grabbed them and threw them in the bag I brought to the library and checked all of them out. And I have a ton of books behind me that I'm trying to get through before June is over. If not, I will read them in July. So they will get read. They will get covered. But this is Model Home, which I have read the synopsis very briefly. So this is what it is. If I remember correctly, it is billed as a, because it does say haunted house novel, but it's a haunted house novel that's not exactly a haunted house story. Not exactly like How to Sell a Haunted House, in which the house itself is not really haunted, it's more puppets. So let's get into this synopsis so that you have that. And then I may need to go cool down again and drink a bunch of water. But here you go. The three Maxwell siblings have kept their distance from the lily-white gated enclave outside Dallas where they grew up. It wasn't being the only black kids in the neighborhood that pushed the children to flee, but rather the strange and inexplicable things that began to happen in the house as soon as they moved in. Was it some cosmic trial, a demonic rite of passage into the upper class? Whatever it was, the Maxwells, steered by their formidable mother, stayed put, unwilling to abandon their home, terrors and trauma be damned. As adults, the siblings finally got away from the horrors of home, leaving their parents alone in the house. When news of their parents' deaths arrives, Esri is forced to return to Texas with their sisters, okay, so Esri uses they, them pronouns, Eve and Emmanuel, to reckon with the family's past and present, and to find out what happened while they were away. River Solomon has turned the haunted house story on its head. Unbridled, raw, and daring, Model Home is a story of secret histories uncovered and of a family battling for the right to live, grieve, and heal amid the terrors of contemporary American life. So that'll be the first book in this vlog. I haven't really decided the order beyond that. So I'll be reading that one, and I should get a lot of reading done today after work. So as a brief note, Chloe, one of our dogs, she is having like some GI upset, and she hasn't gotten into anything, she hasn't eaten anything. We did finally get in contact with her vet, who gave us some stuff that she can take to help her pass it, because they think it could be like some kind of unintentional like intestinal infection. She has gotten one of those before, and the meds helped it pass pretty quickly, but we've been like doing what we can, and it just like will get a little bit better and then isn't. And so she had to take medicine at noon today, so she has to take medicine again at midnight, and so I am in charge of medicine at midnight, and I'll be staying up to read even if Krista goes to sleep before then, which Krista was like, I will definitely be asleep before then. Oh, that hurt. My hand did not like being at my side. So I am in charge of medicine at midnight, so I will be reading sometime in the evening, possibly before Krista falls asleep. But I have that. I'm very curious to see the story. I love like a haunted house story. There was a haunted house one, oh my gosh. Oh, House with Good Bones. I really liked House with Good Bones. I'm not saying these are comparable, but I really enjoyed that book, and so I'm like curious about another haunted house book. And yeah, we're gonna go from there, gremlins. I will update you possibly when I'm less sweaty. I don't know. I'm just gonna be a sweaty mess this whole video. I think that's just gonna be the way it is. And if you're in a hot climate currently, I'm sure you understand. So I will talk to you at some point, gremlins, with a book update. Hello, gremlins. It is hot. It is the end of my lunch break. I kind of cooled down, and now I am sweaty. Being in here at all is making me sweaty, and like I had to get stuff set back up just so I was ready to go for when I am officially back. But I'm so hot. Also, I have not shaved recently, not that this matters, but it's so hot that I was like, tonight I will take a very nice cold shower after work. So I'm gonna actually shower tonight. It's so hot. Like I was gonna shower yesterday, and then I was like, I'm gonna be so sweaty tomorrow because the heat wave isn't breaking until tonight. So I'm just real hot. I'm also drinking, so this is technically coffee. So ages ago, this is also a very fun, this is from Walmart. It's Gay Pride, took it off. I think it's Gay Pride Apparel. Follow them on Instagram, and they randomly mentioned some of their stuff was at Walmart, and I saw this. This is one of theirs, and I'm glad that I got it because I mostly put water in here and then a little bit of this coffee concentrate called Javi. I don't know. Krista ordered it for me to try it, and even though she marked one-time order only, they like signed her up for their subscription, and the next month this like other box of coffee came, and she was like, or like the concentrates, and she was like, I didn't order this. And they're like, oh, well, we already charged you and you have them. And she was like, stop sending me them. Like, I didn't sign up for this. And she even like very clearly had a receipt that marked like one-time purchase only. So I don't know if you should order from them. That sounds really mean, but like, if you mark one-time purchase and they still send you a subscription, not sure how I feel about it, but I've had them in my fridge for months and it was too hot to make actual coffee. So I was like, I have these coffee concentrates, I'm doing it. So I just like poured some in with a lot of water that I have been drinking. I probably need more water, but whew, it's a hot day. The dogs are good. They have the AC downstairs and I opened my window because there is some sort of breeze, even though it is still hot. I'll be so glad when this heat wave has broken. But we are here because today, during my lunch break, I finished Model Home by River Solomon. So this book, I was gonna try and update you because I read some last night earlier, and this isn't really a book where you can do that. So primarily we are following Esri, and they're the character I had mentioned who is genderqueer. And so throughout the story, they are occasionally referred to by he or she pronouns, occasionally referred to as sister. That one is the predominant one that comes up is sister a lot. And occasionally that is corrected, but in certain situations in that moment, Esri is sister. So it just depends on where in their life we are and what the situation is. That kind of, the language of gender kind of changes just depending. But again, Esri is genderqueer, so that does make sense that sometimes it would be in flux. So that does occur. Beyond that, we do get a couple chapters, surprisingly, from Elijah's point of view. Elijah is Esri's daughter, and the two of them have gone to America, specifically to Dallas, to contend with the death of Esri's parents. And they are staying with Eve, one of Esri's sisters, and then there is Emmanuel, who is the youngest sister. So the events that are happening here, of course there's a very loud car going by. They're blowing the light, it's fine. I mean, it's not fine that they went through a red, but it's fine that they're not by my house. There's a traffic light right by my house that I can see through my window. But throughout the story, they're discussing the haunting. So everyone is. We are getting events in Esri's life where the haunting of the house, and there was like a woman without a face, which is interesting because The Faceless Woman Lives in Your House is a book that I'm reading for Summerween. It's a Welcome to Night Vale book. Anyway, there is a discussion of this woman who was in the house, the faceless woman, this whole thing, and how the house was haunted and these events that occurred in the house. And we're getting a lot of discussion of the house being haunted, but we are very rarely in the house. We're in the house a couple of times. There are some events described to us that occurred in the house, but they are past events, which makes sense. They have actually none of them have spoken with their parents in a very long time. So it's been kind of distant. Not a lot of communication between Esri or their sisters and the parents. So we get a lot of that, like discussion of separation, but also events that occurred and how their mother responded. The father is not mentioned frequently. He does get one chapter, but the idea is the father is frequently not home. So Esri does present him as like, I have to discuss my father, but there's not much to discuss as the father is kind of not present. Away on business a lot, but not present. What else? We do get some moments with Esri's therapist, who uses, I had never seen this pronoun, so it's Zir, but it's not spelled the way I've seen it, so it's Xer, and I had typically seen those with Z's, so that was interesting. I hadn't seen that pronoun. But we get some moments with the therapist. I'm not sure when those events are. Some of the story is kind of not timeless because we are following an actual like plot, but the events with the therapist are interwoven, and I don't know if they're occurring during or after, so I'm not sure. I want to say they're after events that are inserted because Esri is trying to provide a full story of their emotion. So it's interesting. I'm gonna point out, as you probably assumed, based on how I'm talking about family and all of the events in the house and reflecting upon them, this is not entirely a haunted house story, which I did expect. This is more how emotional trauma or trauma in general shapes your perception of reality. And so a lot of this is dealing with trauma in general. I'm not going to get into it in depth because that is discussed at the end of the book, so it would be a spoiler to you as the reader. But it is a lot of trauma. It is the trauma of Ezri's life, how Ezri has absorbed that trauma, how Ezri contends with that trauma to this day, choices they have made based on traumatic events. So there's a lot of processing trauma, how all of the siblings have processed trauma differently, how they have reacted to their lives differently, because we do learn different things occurred. Ezri is the eldest, but does point out that Eve, the middle child, kind of took over the role of eldest because Ezri didn't think they fit and just could not bring themselves to take on that sort of leadership elder role. And then Eve is the baby. So Emmanuel is the baby. And so she had very different experiences than the older siblings did. So that's very different for her. Again, the story is beautifully written. Solomon does an incredible job. The language is beautiful. Following everyone, primarily Ezri and Elijah, is so well done. Some sections do not have quotation marks, but it's intentional. Other sections do, and you can tell when they're going to be used and when they're not based on what is happening in that explanation. But I think it is a very, very well done story. Again, I feel like a lot of haunted house stories, it's really that there is a trauma in your life that then is encapsulated by being in the home. I will again say, not a direct comparison in any way, but in How to Sell a Haunted House, the story is again more trauma, like these two kids and their relationships to their parents, and then there's also like, there are actually like vaguely haunted elements, sort of, but it does still connect to like childhood and things that you experience affecting you later in life. So I do think this is very well done. I would say maybe check trigger warnings. I don't know how that would work. There aren't any in the actual book. There are discussions of varied things that I don't really want to get into. I think if you Google this, it would tell you discussions. It is also still, because this came out in 2024. There are mentions of current political events that are happening. So that is discussed. It's also in the author's afterword. So there are discussions of events in like, oh gosh, I don't know that I can describe this super well. It's current eventy stuff that is still occurring, but it is also just other events in general. I'm trying to be vague because I also feel like it is discussed in a way that maybe if I said something, it would mess up that section of the book. So I'm just gonna be vague. I'm so sorry. But I really enjoyed it as a discussion of trauma. So again, it is a haunted house story in that the trauma haunts them all as adults. So that one was very good. Oh shoot, I didn't grab it. I have another book prepped. It's behind me. Don't want to just grab it. I'm gonna just grab it. Hold on. Please enjoy the figures behind me and my back for 5 seconds. Here we go. So the next book I'm going to read is super short. It's Even Though I Knew the End by C.L. Polk. This was on the Pride display at my library and I'd heard of it. It has a really brief description. So here we go. A magical detective dives into the affairs of Chicago's divine monsters to secure a future with the love of her life. This sapphic period piece will dazzle anyone looking for mystery, intrigue, romance, magic, or all of the above. An exiled Auspex, who sold her soul to save her brother's life, is offered one last job before serving an eternity in hell. When she turns it down, her client sweetens the pot by offering up the one payment she can't resist: the chance to have a future where she grows old with the woman she loves. To succeed, she is given 3 days to track down the White City Vampire, Chicago's most notorious serial killer. If she fails, only hell and heartbreak await. So I'll be reading that next. It's so short, I thought I would do that as the next book because it is shorter. And then I think my plan is the short story collection after this, but I haven't decided. So this is the next one. I will probably start it tonight. I don't think I will finish it until tomorrow though, but we shall see. But yes, I will talk to you later. Gremlins, I will probably be... Actually, if I talk to you tomorrow, I may be cooler. It's so hot. Or I'll have wet hair. One or the other. It's hot. So very hot today. But tomorrow, Krista told me it's supposed to be in the 60s. So let's hope it's in the 60s, because that would be lovely. All right, I will talk to you later, gremlins. Hello, gremlins. I promise you will get a different view at some point. It's very loud. So it's actually cooler than yesterday, but only if I leave my window open. Thankfully, because I was getting very, very overheated yesterday. Today, though, I'm wearing my Fun Schitt's Creek shirt. I was looking for a different shirt and saw it in my drawer, and I was like, I'm gonna wear this one. I'm also still drinking coffee, different coffee, out of this big mug thing, water bottle. It's a water bottle, Catherine. I don't know why you're calling it a mug. But I am here because I have just gone to lunch, and I wanted to fill you in because I finished, even though I knew the end, earlier this morning. So I did start it last night, but it's so short you can't really like talk about it. And then this morning we had some like tech snafus at work before actual work started, so like I logged in and stuff wasn't working, so I had to pass the time because I truly could do nothing. So I finished it up. I didn't have that much to go. So yes, so this is very good. It's a garbage truck. Oh, school bus. The book is not a garbage truck. So even though I knew the end, I'm gonna call it a novella. I believe it's a novella. Why are you so loud? Why are you stopping there? There's a school bus just like stopping at a random spot that it's never stopped at, ever, especially at this time of day. So weird. I promise I will focus. But this is very, it's gonna sound so odd, like Maltese Falcon or Dick Tracy meets Jim Butcher, I kind of want to say. So I used to read the Dresden Files series. I fell behind and I'm definitely not caught up anymore. Like, I do not know the last time I read one. I have a signed one for my dad, which is very nice. He randomly met Jim Butcher while he was at a different event, and Jim Butcher was doing a book signing at the exact same place my dad was at. My dad loves that series, and he got me a signed book, which was very nice of him. But so we're following our private eye, who is, do we even have, they don't even list her name in the description. Oh my goodness. So she gets called a couple different things. So her name's Helen. And I swear to you, oh, I have to go. I'll be right back. I will talk about this in a sec. Hello, it is sometime later. I'm so sorry, I just like got cut off. So I was at lunch, like I just hit the button, and then someone needed me, and then Krista was here. So like I very quickly was like dealing with something even though I was at lunch. And then I like ran downstairs to eat with Krista, and I was just like, ah! So I was just like running around, and yeah, that was the end of that clip. So I'm back now. I'm back. You haven't gotten a new location. You will at some point, I swear. So in this, I know I did not get to very much. So we are following Helen, and yes, I'm like flipping around because it's so interesting because so she's Helen, and then at another point someone calls her something else, but Helen is key. So we're following her, and she is a like paranormal PI kind of. So part of this in the description is that she has actually at some point sold her soul. It will explain why, but when you kind of make a deal, sell your soul in this universe, you get 10 years and then your soul is taken and you die. Like, you die because your soul is gone. So she at some point did this, and she is trying to solve, it turns out, this huge mystery involving this vampire killer. And so she's like, I really don't have time for this because my soul is being taken in like 2 days. Like, she's just like, I don't have time for this. I want to be with Edith, my girl. We're gonna spend all of our time together, and then I die. And she's just kind of like, I don't have time for you. I don't have time for this. So she is investigating, and she has her own kind of magic. We get more information on how magic works in this, and like who has magic and who doesn't. And we meet her gal, Edith. And Edith is like, oh, maybe you should work on this, solely because this is like a big deal situation where they are. And they're just kind of like dealing with it. It's like there's a whole investigation occurring, but as this is occurring, Helen is offered something she never thought she'd get offered ever. So if she solves this, it turns out that this demon she periodically works with has her soul now. Apparently you can buy and sell, sort of like an IOU situation is what she calls it. So this particular demon has her soul now. And she's like, oh, I'll give it back to you. You can have it. But you got to get me the guy who's doing this. So that's the setup. She'll get her soul back if she solves this big multi-death crime spree that's happening. There's a lot that unfolds in this short book. It is very interesting. We get a lot of backstory for like how she lost her soul, how she knows certain things, info on Edith, info on other things. It was very interesting. Like, it was a fun time. It's just short. So it's a novella. It's quick. It's a fun time. When I first started, I was like, oh my gosh, there's too much magic. Because they just kind of like dump you into a scene where Helen is doing something, and I was like, I do not know what you're doing. But that got better for me once we kind of got an idea of what was going on. So it does kind of drop you in and expect you to kind of like roll with everything, and then they explain it to you. So that did happen. So I did enjoy this. This was a fun little time, and also did not take long to read at all. So the next book in this vlog, I have to remember to take a photo of this one, is going to be a short story book. So this is Night of the Living Queers, and because it is a short story book, there is a brief synopsis. So I'm just gonna read you the tiny synopsis. It's Night of the Living Queers is a YA horror anthology that explores a night when anything is possible, exclusively featuring queer authors of color, putting fresh spins on classic horror tropes and tales. So there you go. The authors are all listed. Oh, I've read one of hers. Actually, they might be a they. I don't know if I know a lot of these. I know the author of 9 Stops. I believe I read a book of theirs, I think. So this is the list if you want to look at it. I will probably read a few and report back, not the whole thing, because it's hard to recap short stories. So I'll probably give you thoughts on like a set at a time. So that's my next read. And I think, because that book was so short, there's not much I can tell you as an update for the day, because I don't know when I'll check in again. We have finished. I was like, what all do I need to tell you? We have finished our rewatch of L Word Generation Q. Krista like randomly brought it up, and we hadn't ever fully rewatched it. So we just finished that last night, and tonight, Ultimatum Queer Love, all the episodes are out. And yes, it's trashy television. Yes, everyone is going to be chaos. Am I really excited? Yes. We're going to drink wine. We actually have Love is Blind cups. So Love is Blind is gold cups and the Ultimatum is silver cups, as a fun fact. But randomly a Walmart last Christmas, 2 Christmases ago, I think last Christmas, truly I don't remember, had the Love is Blind cups, and we got them so that we each have one. And so we're gonna have some wine, we're gonna drink it out of those cups, and we're gonna do some sort of dinner that I'm prepping while Krista is at court. So yes, so we're doing that tonight. So I don't know if I'll check in before then. I might show you our setup, may give you thoughts on that, probably tomorrow, not tonight. But I will at least have a little bit to tell you, because I'm gonna read some of this after work when I'm not doing dinner prep, because Krista does have court tonight. So for part of the night, it'll just be me and the dogs. So I'll probably read a little while they're hanging out on the couch with me. So yeah, but I gotta go. This was just a quick check-in in the last teeny tiny bit of my lunch break. So I will talk to you later, gremlins, when I have updates on Night of the Living Queers and or Ultimatum Queer Love. So be ready for some level of gay chaos, I guess. But yes, I will talk to you sometime tonight, gremlins, I promise. Hello, let's hope everything is fine, gremlins, because my memory card was acting up.
There you go. On your belly.
Krista and Goose are over there. My memory card kept saying it was locked, even though it wasn't. It was really, really weird. I don't know. Goose has a cookie. There's pastries. We had dinner. It was lackluster, but it was not, it was from Aldi, but it wasn't their fault. It's whatever, it was this like chicken thing. But we are here. We are watching the Ultimatum Queer Love, but it's paused, so you'll just have to believe me. We have fun cups, which I told Krista she has to model, because it's over there. Ta-da! These are technically Love is Blind cups, which I told you, but same universe, same franchise, different hosts. But this is the cup that we're drinking out of. We're having some Barefoot Moscato, which is nice. And very quickly, I informed Krista that I was going to talk to you about Night of the Living Queers, which I'm a little over halfway through. Promise I will be fast. So, in rapid fire succession, I don't have the titles. So, the first story in this is kind of like Mask of the Red Death-esque. We follow someone to a party. and it's fine. It was just like a little odd based on the setup, which is fine. The second one was like urban legends, like a bunch of them all stuck together, but like kind of with a twist, which was really cool. The third story so far is my favorite, and it's called A Brief Intermission, I think. Let me open the book real quick. All right, so very quickly, Welcome to Hotel Paranoia was the first one, and that was the Mask of the Red Death one. The Visitor is very urban legendy, but there's a twist at the end. Then A Brief Intermission by Sarah Farazan has been my favorite so far. It involves a drive-in theater and some ghosts. Then, so Rocky Road with Caramel Drizzle is the fifth story. It involves a demon and a Ouija board, and it's sad, but it was also kind of hard to follow. So it was okay. The 3 Phases of Ghost Hunting by Alex Brown was cute. And like, there's a cat at the end. It still was fine, but it wasn't really scary. Then 9 Stops by Trang Than Tran. I believe, well, I haven't read She's a Haunting. I believe they also wrote, because it hadn't come out yet, They Bloom at Night, which I enjoyed, but the story itself in here involved like basically a YouTube video that was very The Ring-esque, but the story kind of reminded me of Bat Eater, which is not by them, but it reminded me of Bat Eater. What other, yeah, am I forgetting? Oh crap, I skipped Guested. That's what I did. So Guested by Rebecca Kim Waltz is kind of Body Snatchers-esque, and that one was pretty good. What one? That, someone told it in you. I wrote a note down. One sec. I'm almost done with my recap, I promise. Yeah, so the Body Snatchers one, the one that I skipped, when I was talking about it, Guested, it's told in the you point of view, so it keeps being like, you get an invitation, you get, which I'm not a huge fan of. Like, they're fine, but like, I was not the biggest fan of that storyline, like the setup of that story. 9 Stops was creepy, but again, reminded me a lot of Bat Eater. Then Layla Mendoza and The Last House on the Lane is oddly sweet, but again, also told in a you point of view, which just threw me off because I would rather just see the character. Like, don't have me pretend to be the character, just like give me the character. But yeah, so that's as far as I've gotten. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stories left. I started In You to Burn, and it feels like Firestarter by Stephen King. I think it's by Stephen King. Or first, yeah, I think it's Stephen King. I know it's a movie, which makes me think it's Stephen King because he has a lot of movies. It's reminding me of Firestarter. But yeah, so we're gonna keep watching this and have these desserts. And yeah, so I'm gonna go, but I will fill you in on this when I finish it. And yeah, that is it. And I'm glad it seems like my memory card is fine. Hopefully. Anyway, I will talk to you probably tomorrow, gremlins. But we are watching lots of the Ultimatum Queer Love tonight with our wine. So talk to you tomorrow morning. Hello, good morning. I'm not really awake. I'm super tired, and I was gonna make hot coffee, but my office has decided that even though it's only in the 60s, that it's going to be incredibly hot in there, which I understand, like, it didn't air out after work because like my window was closed, but also like I was hoping it would cool in there. My window's open, my fan is on. It'll cool down. It's still hot, so I'm making iced coffee, which is just this stuff. So I'm just pouring bottled water because we have a water filter thing because our tap water is gross. But it's temperamental in the morning sometimes, and it's being temperamental right now. So we happen to have an old box of bottled water that I'm using. So I already poured in 1 bottle. Oh, I need to put a sweetener in. And then I poured some of this stuff, just mocha, Javi. What is, oh, Bane is trying to lay down in a box of water. It's not this water, it's flavored waters. Oh, I'm just hitting everything today. There's a bunch of stuff on my counter right now that's not normally here. There's some like cereal boxes to keep them away from cats, and a box of crackers, and there's just a lot of stuff, and I'm crashing into everything this morning. I smashed into a baby gate trying to get into my office because we put a baby gate up to keep the dogs out of certain parts of the house. And I just crashed, my whole leg crashed into it, knocked the whole thing down. It was very uncomfortable, but here I am. Okay, sorry, I have to not spill this everywhere. So I was like watching, this is just like random fake Splenda that my mom actually had to send me because we couldn't find it anywhere in New York at one point, but I have it and we're good. So I'm pouring the other bottle of water and coffee, which is not what I wanted to have this morning. I also feel like I'm already sweating even though it's cool out. I'm like, it's supposed to be cool, like I'm not supposed to be sweating already. I'm wearing my Corgi shirt. This is from Michael's like last year. It's literally just Corgi holding a pride flag, but then he's holding the rainbow one, but the rest of the progress flag is his little bandana, which is very cute. So I have coffee and Ultimatum Queer Love is very messy. We knew it was gonna be messy. It's even messier than last season because they had two different women who, because they're not giving us pronouns, I don't think. They're two people who had two women both want them and then they had to choose, and it was like the two player kind of women too, so I was like but just so much drama, but I'm here too. Like it's very good. After we finished watching it, Chloe was finishing up her medicine that she's been on, so I had to stay up till midnight to give it to her, but she's done. She doesn't have to take it anymore, which is nice. But I finished Night of the Living Queers while I was waiting to give her her medicine. So let's prop this open. Let's see, I had read those. We were on In You to Burn. So that one I kind of mentioned is Firestarter-esque, but it also was like, it brought in a folktale that I'd never heard of involving like a dragon king, and then there was like an ice element. It was like, there was a I secretly hate you but also I'm in love with you kind of thing happening in it. It was fine but odd because there was also time travel, it felt like. Then Anna was super creepy. I did like Anna. So Anna is, there's a girl babysitting on Halloween night, and in case, I don't think I mentioned it because I don't think it's in that part. So all of these are on Halloween, and there's also a blue moon in all of them, though the blue moon only occasionally is actually doing something besides being present. In this one, the blue moon is kind of the reason our main character isn't going to a Halloween party with this girl she likes. So she's like, no, I can't go on babysitting, but also like there's a blue moon and it's on Halloween, and like that's bad because she's kind of superstitious. She was raised in New Orleans and she like knows all of these like urban legendy or like legendy kind of things. So she's kind of like freaked out by the fact that there's a full moon and a blue moon, like this whole thing. But the thing she actually, because she's like, the Rougarou is coming. There's no Rougarou in this. There's a ghost, a very, very creepy ghost, and a Ouija board. And there's a Ouija board in a couple of these, but it gets really, really creepy, and the ghost is described so creepily. There's also a League of Their Own reference, like the TV show, which I adore, because someone dresses like Max Chapman. So this one was incredible, and is now probably my favorite story of this book. So the next one is Hey There Demons by Tara Sim. This one was, sorry, my ears suddenly started itching. What was this one? Oh gosh, do I even remember? I did read this, I swear. Oh yeah, Hey There Demons is a boy who doesn't really have friends. He's trying to get rid of a poltergeist because he had to move, and he's like, there's definitely a poltergeist in the house. He inadvertently summons a demon, but then like the demon is just like chill and wants to do like human stuff, and then it's just cute. Like, it was just cute. Then, let's see. Oh, Save Me From Myself does have a trigger warning, so it's listed at the top of the story. Our main character is going to a Halloween party, but she like keeps hearing a voice in her head, and which let me make sure, Kali Ma. So she keeps hearing a voice in her head, and she's like, go away, but this voice is like, but I know what you wish not to exist. And it turns into like this very odd like body swapping situation, but then it gets very sad. So it's very well written. It's just more overwhelmingly sad than anything else. And then the last one is called Knick-Knack, and it is about the ghost of a man who was a party clown and he died, and our main character doesn't even really believe that Knick-Knack could exist, but then his brother goes missing, and then there's like a knick-knack hunt. But oddly, it's not that scary because you never see the clown. It's more like a sweet, like, two friends, like, let's get my brother back, which it was fun. Like, it was a fun way to end the collection. A lot of these weren't very scary, which is fine. It's YA. They're well written. I was not a huge, what's annoying is I like the premise of the two you stories where it was like, you go, but I wish it was not written that way. Like, I truly wish it had been written where it's just that character doing it. Like, the you part, I was like, but I want to know who the character is, because all the characters are supposed to be queer characters of color, and I was like, I am a white lady. Like, could you just tell me who I am? Like, could you just make the story about them and not have me self-insert in this moment, because I would prefer to know about the person. So that was a little goofy for me. I also just like don't like that story setup unless it's like a very short thing, and these were too long for me to like really want it to be written that way. But again, that's a personal preference. I'm gonna go drink this coffee because I'm tired, to try and wake myself up. I think I have my next book picked out, but I left it upstairs because I have to carry all of this back to my office. So I will let you know what that is when I read a little bit of it. It'll be during my lunch break that I read some of it. So I will fill you in at the end of my lunch break, or end of the day, depending on how the day is going. I think we're going out to dinner tonight because this new place opened up. So I actually think I will take you to that because I think it's going to be very cool. So yeah, I think those are all my updates. Please enjoy Core Gay. And I'm gonna go because I need to go upstairs. I feel like I'm a little blurry in this clip, but also I am tired, and I feel like my camera is just like, you're tired, let's not look at your face. Anyway, I will talk to you later, Gremlins, about my next book. Hi Gremlins, it is after lunch, and I did in fact choose Interesting Facts About Space, which is by Emily Austen. So the other book by Austen is Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead, and I've heard that one is really good, but I am really enjoying this one. So in this, we're following Enid, and Enid really enjoys space. She works at like the space agency. I think it's like fake NASA. So she works there, and she is sort of a data collector at this job. So she's not like a physicist or an astronaut. She collects data, but that means she knows a ton about space. So throughout this, she kind of, and I'm not reading you the description because really the book itself is just sort of following Enid, and the chapters are very long, but they're like broken up sometimes a little bit. Enid is sort of like a serial dater a bit. She has a bunch of dating apps. She'll hook up with a woman, and over the course of this, she learns one of the women she was with was married, which results in a whole other slew of goofiness. And then she also keeps thinking her apartment is being broken into, but she's been listening to an uptick in her true crime podcast. So she's like listening to this, and so people are like, maybe you're just paranoid because you're listening to a true crime podcast. She also is irrationally afraid of bald men, though possibly rationally afraid, because she keeps thinking a bald man is looking in her window or breaking into her apartment. So there's this whole like, she thinks someone's breaking in. She like doesn't understand why they would be breaking in. She's frightened to stay at her home periodically because someone could be breaking in. But like, she's taking all these precautions so that she'd be safe. And on top of that, she's dealing with her mom, which she loves her mom, but when she's stressed, she sends her mom's facts about space. Interesting facts about space. So she like does that, but also like the stress between her and her mom is interesting because there are some other people that Enid is interacting with that is stressing her mom out. And so there's just a lot of like Enid's dynamics with everyone in her life, on top of her being very concerned about her safety in her own apartment while also listening to true crime podcasts. So you're getting like true crime facts and space facts and just like a variety of things. And as I'm reading this, I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, it is just like, I don't quite know how to explain it, but like, it's so easy to read because you're just following Enid, and Enid like reacting to things, or like Enid being like, something is definitely gonna happen, or like Enid having dreams because she's thinking about the things, like her apartment being broken into, her mom, like all of this stuff. So we just like meet all these people and like watch Enid interacting with them, and then being like, oh my goodness, Enid. Like, it's just a lot happening and a lot to like process and take in, and it doesn't even feel like we're following her over that many days. Like, this just feels like we're maybe with Enid for a month of her life. I could be wrong, it could be more than that. But like, everything just feels like it's kind of like, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Like, we're just like following her as she exists. And like, we're even following her while she's unconscious because we're getting her dreams relayed to us by Enid. So I'm just like very into it. Like, it's just interesting. But I don't, like, I can't summarize it for you. There's no summarizable aspect here, except that, like, she's worried that her apartment's being broken into. That's, like, a recurring theme throughout. And, like, her interest in true crime. And her interest in space. But the interest in space, besides the fact that she just has that interest in space, a lot of it ties into, again, something will kick off her needing to tell her mom an interesting fact about space. Because it's, like, her stress response is just like, instead of being like, hey mom, how are you, she'll be like, the following about a planet, or blah blah blah, like just a random space thing to her mom. And her mom's like, oh. And then like when they interact with each other, because there are some things that are stressing Enid out in regards to her mom, she'll just keep talking to her about space facts. And her mom's like, okay, that's interesting, that's very interesting, very cool. We also get her, like, this is not, we get references to her childhood YouTube channel, and I'm like, you were posting on YouTube as a youth? Like, I had it in college. Like, if you deep dive, there's some very old videos that I've just left on the YouTube. But I just, like, it's just so interesting because we're just, like, following Enid throughout the course of time. Like, just her daily life. Just around. It's just, like, very easy to read. Like, it's remarkably easy to read because it just feels like we're following someone. Like, this is why I like vlogs. Like, I like watching people's vlogs because you're just kind of following them around and like seeing what they're doing. That's what this feels like. This is like a vlog as a book, but like you get extra things because you're getting like her dreams and her thoughts, and there's just a lot of things. So it's just very interesting, like remarkably interesting, and also very full of lesbian drama because Enid is a lesbian and she just like hooks up with random people and random things come up about her being a lesbian just sporadically. So yeah, I'm just enjoying it. My goal is to finish it today, which I think is very doable because I think I can finish it after work. So we are doing something after work, but I think I can find the time to finish it. And I am going to take you. So a new restaurant opened that's like a ramen, what else? Ramen, poke, boba tea kind of deal. And I guess it opened yesterday, and Krista thought it opened today, but we're gonna try and go today, see if we like it, see if it's good. People are saying good things, so we shall see. But yeah, so I did not talk as long as last time when I did an update, but I gotta go deal with work stuff. So yeah, I will talk to you probably after we go get dinner or during dinner. I mean, I'll show you dinner. I'm gonna show you the food. I don't know if we're eating there. It seems very small, so I feel like we're gonna like get food and come home, and then maybe we can just, like, Krista and I can give you a review of the food. I don't even know the name of the place. We've gone by it a bunch of times and I do not know what it's called. But yeah, I'm gonna go, gremlins. I will talk to you at some point about food, interesting facts about space, you know, just a variety of things.
You see one of my proteins, where's my other one?
I didn't. Hello from the bedroom. You briefly saw food, so we went to the new place. We think it's like Tai Chi, maybe. Oh, good Lord, Vane. Could you not? Oh, no. Yeah. I'm sitting with my legs apart, and he climbed atop me. But yeah, so we got poke. Stay. We had poke, which was good. Yeah. I really liked it, and the portions were really big. And then we also got, you got a boba tea, and I got like a coffee thing, which really just tastes like coffee. It was good. And we had a squid salad.
Yeah, which was chewy.
Yes. But no, it was really good. It wasn't crazy expensive for...
Oh, and you brought in the kimchi?
Yeah, it's in the fridge. Okay. We also got a jar.
Forgot that and left it
No, it's in the
restaurant
fridge.
Because I couldn't remember grabbing it.
Nope, I got it. We also got a container of kimchi that is in our fridge right now. But yes, so it was really good. And then we walked around Five Below because that's next door. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I put, we bought a mattress topper. Is that what it is?
Yep.
And I put it on earlier. So this is Krista's first time sitting on it. Also my first time sitting on it because I put it on and then immediately had to go back to work. But yeah. So that was dinner. And now we're going to watch more of Ultimatum Queer Love. I don't know what episode we're on.
Take a sip of your champagne. It's all bubbly.
I know, but I can't. I can't reach it and hold the camera. We're also using the same cups. We're having sparkling wine stuff. Krista has it. There you go. She can try it. Wait, why are you?
I've already tried it.
Oh, okay. Hi. That is nice. Ooh, Chloe's on the move. Oh, I should afraid I was gonna drop that. But no, it's good. Have we had that one before? We haven't. It's good.
It's the champagne version of their pink Moscato.
Oh, gotcha. But yeah, so we're gonna drink that and watch more Ultimatum Queer Love. Also, finished Interesting Facts About Space. It was no. Good God. He has been doing this thing where he sits on me and he digs all of his nails into my blanket, and I am just wearing shorts. So when he does that, he literally digs his nails into my skin.
I would like your audience to see him right now. He has. Give me the camera. Hello. I'm temporarily taking over the camera. Let's see.
He's gonna attack the camera.
Oh, yep, he's got that.
Yeah,
you're not helping.
Why I wasn't gonna give it.
You're not helping your defense, sir.
No.
So
he's gonna keep doing it.
I was going to present his cute face for his defense of this is how he sits. He just sits nicely on you, but he is trying to kill the camera and therefore is proven guilty by his own actions. Yep. Here you go. Yep.
There you are. Bane being bonkers. But yeah, I finished Interesting Facts About Space. There are some fun moments of growth at the end. Again, I already gave you my like thoughts of the book in general, but it does, like, there is a tie-up. There is an ending that is very nice.
They don't know about my new thing.
Oh God, she got this eye thing and she put it on my face and it's horrifying. It like massages your temples and your eyes.
Ow, stop it, sir.
Yeah, I don't know why you think he's gonna be chill.
Alright, so my wife sometimes, most of the time, likes to stay up later than me.
Yes.
And I get tension headaches from my work. And
hi, Chloe.
So now, yes.
It looks like a VR headset and it's supposed to massage your head, and she put it on me earlier and it was horrifying. But she likes it, so it's all that matters. I'm just never going to use it. But yes. So yeah. So Interesting Facts About Space. Very, very good book. I recommend. I want to read her other one, the Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead, because I'm sure it is also good. But yes. So many beings are on Krista. Is it playing music?
Yes.
Oh! I was like, what are you doing? But yeah. So we're gonna watch Ultimatum Queer Love. And oh, I have this book that I'll start tomorrow. We Do What We Do in the Dark by Michelle Hart. I'll read you the synopsis at a later date. I'm gonna get the TV turned on and run some stuff into the office. So I'll talk to you later, gremlins, while my wife is having her head massaged. Good morning, gremlins. I'm taking a tiny break, mostly because today has been wild. So to start, we've watched all the episodes of Ultimatum Queer Love that are on Netflix, but I would like Netflix to inform me why did you release it in the last week of June just to hold 3 episodes to not release until July 2nd when we're out of Pride Month? Does anyone know why? Why didn't we release the episodes the week before that? Or, like, it just seems weird to me that you would release 7 of 10 and then cliffhanger it until July 2nd. Like, it just seems baffling to me. Especially because they use, like, a rainbow background and a ring to be like, oh, these episodes are coming soon. And I was like, they're coming soon, after Pride. They didn't do that last time either. Like, there was no cliffhanger. And you would think you'd do it at episode 5, not 7. Anyway, we did watch it. Truly is chaos. There is so much drama, which is why we're watching it. Admittedly, we're just watching it for trashy drama. But this morning, we got up super early because we live in New York, so you have to get your car inspected, and our inspection was about to run out. You have to do it every year, and we had all of the month of June, but we hadn't taken it in yet. And so Krista had a possible appointment near her work, but the dealership we got the car from is supposed to give us free inspections for life. So she like went there. She literally drove there yesterday and was like, hey, if I bring my car in at 7:30, could you get me to work by the time I have to be there? And she has to be to work before I do even. And they're like, yeah, no problem, no problem. That didn't happen. We got the car there at 7:30. They then kept the car for almost 2 hours, which made her late for work, made me late for work. It was a whole thing. So like that was just a mess. But our car's fine. It passed. They wanted to replace our brake pads and we were like, no, we'll take it to someone else to do that. Thank you. And only 2 of the brake pads. So we were like, no, we're not doing that. We have an actual mechanic. He just doesn't do inspections because there's like a computer and it's a whole hassle. But it just took them forever and it was annoying. So yeah, we got that done. But like I was only a couple minutes late to work. Krista was actively like a lot late to work and she had to contact her boss. I let my manager know that I was running late. But while we were waiting for the car, I have read roughly half of We Do What We Do in the Dark. I actually got to the point where they say the title of the book in the book. So am I gonna read the synopsis for you? No, because I haven't gotten that far. So I'm not going to read the actual synopsis. In this, we're following Mallory, who has started her first year of college, and she becomes infatuated with this woman, who she only refers to as the woman. She sees her at the gym, she then sees her at a reading event, and the two of them start having an affair, because she does realize the woman is married. The woman is also a professor at her college, and the two of them just like start this relationship, and so we're really just following Mallory in this affair. And it's very heightened. The woman has a very particular personality. You can lose favor with her very quickly, and getting her attention is like a treat to Mallory. Mallory is also dealing with the grief of the death of her mother, so that may be motivating her to continue this, just because grief can sometimes cause people to do some interesting things. So she's having this affair. We are introduced to a guy that she briefly dates because, again, this is an affair, and it's really only happening because the woman's husband is away, and once he comes back, they can't really continue the affair because he is home, but they can kind of. So as of right now where I am, she is in the affair with the woman, and I'm not going to tell you, like, I won't tell you all the ins and outs, because the synopsis of the book is truly telling you that they're having this affair, and then there's a time jump, and I'll get to the time jump when I get to it, and I'll fill you in on that because I'm going to try and finish this during lunch. It's not a long book. It's only like 200 pages, a little over that, and I'm like 100-ish pages in, so I can finish it during lunch. And this will be the last video of the vlog, or the last book of the vlog. So I can probably end this after my, like, during my lunch break / after my lunch break / end of work day, because this is not very big, which is kind of why I put it at the end. It is interesting. I am enjoying the writing. Following the relationship feels very L-word, which, like, original L-word. Very bet. This feels very bet. It does not help that I've been playing the L word quietly as background noise, because I was like, what do I put on? And so I put on the L word. Not that I like definitively enjoy the L word, but like it's kind of trashy and it's gay and it's Pride and I don't have to pay attention to it. So yeah, so I am going to finish this during my lunch and I will inform you of more things. But this does make me think of Bet. There is actually a season where Bet sleeps with a TA. And that's kind of what I'm getting from this, because the woman does sort of seem, she's much different than Bet, but I can get like a tone of Bet from her. So that's kind of what I'm picturing while I'm reading. But I am enjoying it. It's very lit fic. So it's a very like dramatic lesbian drama lit fic. So yeah, I'm gonna breeze through this, I think, and that's the end of this vlog. I'll probably start a new vlog pretty quickly after. We're going to a block party tonight, but you cannot film at the block party. Like, I'm not taking my camera because it is busy and there are drunk people and there are a lot of children. But we are going to a thing after work to get food because there are food trucks. But yeah, also there's this like cool ice cream I want to try and get because they're doing a Jaws ice cream at this like ice cream place I like. But that I'll probably just like take a photo of and post on Instagram because it's ice cream and it's gonna melt. But yeah, so I am enjoying this. It's very well written, very short, and I'm very sure a booktuber read this because I recognize some quotes, but I don't remember who. I truly do not. So I'm gonna go. I just want to take like a quick break and fill you in on stuff I read this morning. I'm going to continue drinking this enormous coffee, and I'm only wearing long sleeves because we're going out later and I want to cover my tattoo, and even though the sun won't really be up, I still want to cover myself so I don't get sunburnt, even though this is white, and I will probably ruin it before the event is over. But I will talk to you when I finish We Do What We Do in the Dark. The title is so hard to say, gremlins. Hello, gremlins. This is the final clip of the vlog. I have finished We Do What We Do in the Dark, which I keep wanting to call like We Do in the Dark or like What We Do in the Dark, like What We Do in the Shadows. I don't know. I keep almost calling this the wrong thing. Yes, but I finished it. It is raining currently, just as an aside, which is very nice, but also I don't know what that means for the block party we were gonna go to. Like, I don't know what's happening still. I have no idea. But, anyway, it is cooling down though, which is lovely. So this, I'd gotten to most of it. So I will say it is interesting because in the middle section, it's suddenly not about the woman. It's only about Mallory and her like childhood kind of, and another relationship she had that was not sexual, but like a relationship she had with someone who was older than her. And then we go back to the woman, like we jump to after Mallory has graduated. So it goes like Mallory first year of college, then a jump back to like when she was younger, when her mother like first started having some issues. I'm not gonna get into that, but like there is this section that is very focused on like a childhood friend and then another relationship that evolves out of that. Then we go to when Mallory graduated college, like after, and what she's doing for like a living and what her life is like, and the reintroduction of the woman at that point. And then like we get all of that, and then there's a brief epilogue set 5 years again. So there's like the freshman year going backwards in time, then the like 5 years, I think 4 years from freshman year, and then a 5-year jump again. The epilogue is pretty brief, but it was interesting that we switched out of the like chronological storyline to like focus on Mallory's past. It did kind of reveal how this relationship may have developed for her, but it was also just interesting that I was like, we have jumped back in time. So it was very lit fic. I do think it's interesting that it's just the woman. Also, we are in Salem, Massachusetts for a hunk of this, and I was like, what? So Krista and I have been to Salem once, which means I have only been to Salem once, but we went to a Comic-Con in Rhode Island, and Krista was like, we could go to Salem if you really want for like a little bit. So we drove to Salem, and I like tried to do as much as I could think of to do very quickly. It was really fun. We do want to go back, but we hit one of the things they talked about, the Salem Witch Museum. We saw that, except they called it animatronics. Like they mentioned that it's animatronics and they didn't move. So maybe there's something else, but like there is a theater that does a show, but like there's talking, but nothing moves. Like it's all stationary figures. There are some other things, so maybe it's a couple different places. But like I've been to the Salem Witch Museum. So, I mean, there are other museums and stuff, and maybe I just didn't go to this one. She also went to the House of the Seven Gables, which we did not go to, but it's a huge deal. We went to the Witch House instead, which is very cool. And it's on a ton of stuff for Salem. But this was a very, like, interesting to read lit fic. I liked watching the sort of evolution of the relationship, and then getting to see why Mallory may have made this connection at that point in her life was interesting. So like I didn't mind the flashbacky part. I just wasn't expecting it because I was more expecting like the continuation of college, and then that didn't happen. But I did really enjoy it. I actually enjoyed everything I read in this vlog. I have no idea what to call this vlog. So I'm literally puzzling that out right now. I had photos for the thumbnail, and so I like had organized them in Canva because that's where I make my thumbnails, and I was just like, I don't know what to call this. I have no idea what to call this. So I'm brainstorming a title because I read Model Home, Night of the Living Queers, Even Though I Knew the Ending, I think is the title of that one. Even Though I Knew the End. Then Interesting Facts About Space, and then the We Do What We Do in the Dark. But some of that is lit fic, some of that is horror, some of it is technically, like, I think Model Home could also be, like, it's a horror lit fic, like, horror is part of it, but it's also lit fic, I feel like. At least that's how it read to me. But the only one that completely doesn't fit the theme would be Night of the Living Queers, but I really wanted to read it, so I have no idea. I don't know. And they're all library books still, because I got a lot of library books, so I have no idea. I don't know. we'll all find out what the title is together when I post this, I guess. But yes, so I enjoyed everything I read. I'm anxiously awaiting the rest of Ultimatum Queer Love because I need to know what's happening in those 3 episodes. What else? Is that? I feel like we watched, oh, we finished Generation Q, which was fun. And I've had the L Word on in the background, which consistently baffles me because I keep just like throwing it on and I'm always in season 1 at this point. One time I randomly put it on like the season where Jenny is, well, Jenny is frequently awful, but the season where they're making the movie, I think it's the final season. No, not final? Final? I don't know. It's been a while. But I think that is everything. So if you read any of these, let me know your thoughts on them because I feel like some people have read these before. Like these are not new. These are all backlist books. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on any of these if you've read them or if you have some suggestions for me. You can even suggest what you think the title of this video could have been because I'm just going to make something up at a certain point. I think, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, but new vlog will start pretty soon because I want to try and start it tomorrow, I think, just because I want to try and finish the last 4 books out from the library that I picked out for Pride, even though I think I'm going to finish some of them in July before Summerween starts. I'm very excited for Summerween, so I'm hoping to do a video before I start Summerween. So yeah, but if you like this, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of me, please subscribe. Be ready for Summerween. It's coming. I have books picked out already, though there will hopefully be a video before that. I tried to cross my fingers and missed. So hopefully there's a video before I start Summerween. Those things. Oh, and I'm on Instagram at ClefCoverAfter. But I will see you in the next one, gremlins.